Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again today. So, in today's lesson, Mathematics Grade 8, we'll be doing parallel lines cut by transversal. Okay, so the objectives of our lesson. At the end of the lesson, the learner must be able to solve geometric problems on parallel lines cut by transversal. Yes, so this is our topic for today. This is our topic for today, right? Okay, so we had our icebreaker game. Our icebreaker game was to visit kahoot.it and enter this pin right here, so that you can participate in our fun game that we do at the beginning of our lesson, right? So can you please just visit the link so that you can join the fun? Okay, so before we start with our lesson, this is just a recap of what we've been doing. It's just a summary, a recap so that you can get back on the groove, right? So here's our sketch right here. So this is our sketch which includes parallel lines and our transversal. Okay, so on our sketch right here, we have our interior and our exterior. So this is our interior. This is our interior between these two black lines. These two black lines are called our parallel lines, right? And then this red one right here is called our transversal. So this is our transversal, and these two black lines right here are our parallel lines. And you see that this transversal does cut our parallel lines, and when it does cut our parallel lines, it forms how many angles? It forms 8 angles. So where are those 8 angles? Here's the first one: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Right. Okay, so it forms 8 angles. And here on our sketch, we have interior and exterior. So here's our exterior meaning outside. Example for our exterior, for example, we can use your book, right? Your book, your mathematics book. In your mathematics book, there's the inside and there's the outside. So the outside is your exterior of your book, your cover, your plastic cover, your pink covers, your blue covers is our exterior. And your interior should be your pages on the inside. Um, what else? Your writing, your pasting, and all that. So that will be our example for our interior. So that's the interior for your book, and the exterior for your book will be your book covers, right? Okay, so we have exterior, which is the outside, interior, and another exterior here. Okay, so we have other angles that can be formed here on our sketch. Now, so the first one will be corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. So corresponding angles is one interior and one exterior, and they are equal. If one interior equals to 45 degrees, one exterior will have to be 45 degrees. For example, you see here we have our exterior. So this is one exterior and one interior. Here's our E and B. That will be our pair. This is the example for corresponding angles. So this will be our exterior and this will be our interior. So for example, if B equals to 45 degrees, then E must be 45 degrees. It can't be the other way around because corresponding angles are equal. Now, okay, and then we also have alternate angles. Alternate angles are opposite angles on the interior. They are equal. They are also equal. So alternate angles, opposite angles on the interior. So here's our interior right here. What are alternate angles? They are opposite in inside. So opposite inside, which is the interior. So for example, let's make our pair. Our pair will be A and F because you can see they are opposite. A is opposite to F. D is opposite to E, right? So it will form how many pair? Two pairs. Right, correct. And they must have the same degrees. They are equal all the time. Okay. So the next one will be co-interior angles. So co-interior angles on the same side of the transversal, sum is 180 degrees. So you can see this one right here. It says co-interior angles. So again, we only focus on the interior, not the exterior. Only focus on the interior. So when we see our interior, here's our interior right here between these two black lines, right? And our interior has how many angles? It has 4 angles. Okay, so they say on the same side of the transversal. And then we also have the left hand side and the right hand side on the same side of the transversal. So we can start with the side right here. So it means that they must, when you add angle D and angle F, they must be 180 degrees. These ones they must not be equal. They must be different. But when you add them, they must give you 180 degrees. Yes, correct. So let's say angle D equals to 100 degrees. So it means that our angle F must be 100 degrees. Correct. Yes, yes, yes. So let's go to our activity, the next slide. So on our next slide here, we have a question. Number 2, the diagram shows parallel lines AB, AB and CD. So AB and CD. EF cuts AB. Okay, where's our EF? Here's our EF. And we all know that our EF is, yes, transversal line. So our EF equals to our transversal line, cut AB at Q and CD at P. All right, so angle QPD equals to 45 degrees. So angle QPD, you'd see it forms something like an L, which makes our angle right here. Correct, yes. So the question is, write down with reasons the size of 2.1 angle EQB. So let's go and look for EQB. So there we go. Here's our E, here's our Q, and there's our P. So this angle right here, okay, let's do a slideshow. Okay, guys. So I said we must look for angle EQB, right? So here's our EQB, which forms an angle right here. Oh, correct. So it forms an angle right here. And we don't have any value or size. We don't know the size of EQB. We don't know the value of EQB. We don't know the degree for EQB. So what must we do? How do you find the value for EQB? So number 2.1, the value of EQB equals to 45 degrees. Okay, so why is it 45 degrees? The reason is angle EQP is corresponding angle to angle EQB. You can see this. So angle QPD is corresponding angle to EQB because this one is our exterior and here is our interior. All right, you can see why now we have 45 degrees as our EQB. So another reason is corresponding angles are equal, one exterior and one interior. So that makes them our corresponding angles and they must be equal all the time. That's why our angle EQB equals to 45 degrees. All right, so let's move on to 2.2. So 2.2, we must find the size for angle Here's our 2.2. We must find the size for angle BQP. So where's our BQP? So our BQP. So from BQP, which forms an angle just right here, right? Yes, it forms an angle right there. So when you don't know the size of BQP, right? We must find the size for BQP. And when you see this right here, you can see that it's on the same side of the transversal. So that means that they are 45 degrees, and this angle right here, they are our co-interior angles. Yeah, because they lie on the same side of the transversal. And our co-interior angles, they are not the same. They are not equal. Their degrees are not equal. They are different. Their degrees are not equal, right? So we need to find the value for BQB at the moment. So we will do our equation first. So here's our equation. On our equation, we'll have 45 degrees plus angle BQP equals to 180 degrees, because our co-interior angles, when you add them together, the sum of our co-interior angles is 180 degrees. So the sum of the side from here to here is our co-interior angles. And how much is it? It's 180 degrees, not more, not less. When you add those two angles, they must give you 180 degrees, and then you'll have your pair. All right, so here's our equation. 45 degrees plus angle BQP equals to 180 degrees, and then we'll have our angle BQP then equals to 180 degrees minus 45 degrees, because this 45 degrees right here is positive, and when it moves to the side, it becomes our negative. Subtraction minus, it becomes negative because we are moving it on the different side now, right? Okay, so we'll have 180 degrees minus 45 degrees, and our angle BQP equals to 135 degrees. All right, correct. I know you got that one right. And so the reason behind all this, I've been saying the reason. So let's read up the reason that I did point it out for you guys here. So they say angle BQB equals to 180 degrees. Why? Because angle BQB and angle QPD are co-interior angle, and sum of any pair of co-interior angle equals to 180 degrees. So it means that when you on the same side of the transversal, we have our co-interior angles, and when you add both of them, they must give you 180 degrees. That's why we had this equation right here, and our answer was 135 degrees. Right, thank you so much. So let's move on to number 2.3. So number 2.3, finding the size of and the reasons for angle QPC. So what is the size for angle QPC? So let's go to angle QPC before we can calculate. So angle QPC, which forms an angle right here. Yes, forms QPC, forms an angle just right here. All right, so angle QPC equals to 135 degrees. Why? 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 The reason is angle BQP, angle BQP and angle QPC are our alternate angles, right? And we know that our alternate angles are opposite. So this angle right here is opposite to this one. They are opposite and they are equal. They have the same degrees. They are our alternate angles. So BQP and QPC are alternate angles. Alternate angles are equal. Correct. So let's move to number 2.4. So number 2.4, we must find the size for angle AQB. So what is the size for angle AQB? So let's go to angle AQP, AQB, AQP, not AQB, angle AQP. Angle AQP. So our angle AQP is from here, A, Q, and P. You see, which forms an angle just right here. Correct. And you can see that angle AQP is opposite to this angle right here. It's opposite to angle QPD. Okay, so our value for angle AQP equals to 45 degrees. So it means that angle AQP and angle AQP and angle QPD are our alternate angles. They are opposite and alternate angles are equal. They have the same degrees. They have the same degrees. They are opposite to each other. We can see that right here. Correct. So now let's move on to the next question. I hope you got this one right. So the next one will be our sketch. We can name the sketch. We'll only do the first sketch. Right. We can name this one A and we can name this one B. Alright, but we'll only do sketch A. Right. We'll only do sketch A. Okay, so they say find the value for F1, F2, F4, E1, E2, E3, and E4. In the sketches below, give your reasons for your answer. So since now we are done with our last activity, now you kind of have a clue of what is happening right here. And guys, there are a lot of reasons. As long as your reason is it makes sense and it is valid, then it will be correct. As long as your reason is valid, it's definitely correct and it makes sense and we can see it that this is correct, then it is correct, right? Yes, it must not be the same reasons like your friend or anyone else, but they must be similar, right? They must be similar or the same. Let me just put it that way. Okay. So here, sketch A, we only have value for angle, this angle right here, which is our angle F, F3 angle. Okay, and now let's find the value for this angle right here, which is angle E3. We can see that angle E4, E3 angle and F3 angle, they are our corresponding angles, right? So since they are our corresponding angles, we know that our corresponding angles are equal. So our value for E3 angle equals to 31 degrees. Why is it 31 degrees? Because it's corresponding angle to angle F3. Right, so now we have value for angle 31 degrees for angle 31 degrees for angle E3. Right, okay, so now since we have the values for E3 and F3 angle, so now let's find the value for angle this angle right here, which is angle E4. So we can see that inside interior here on the same side of our transversal, we have our co-interior angle, and the sum of our co-interior angle equals to 180 degrees. So when we add our angle right here, which is 31 degrees, angle F3 and angle E4 right here, when we add them together, they must give us 180 degrees. Now, so since they must give us 180 degrees, we must do the equation first before we can find the value for E4. So let's do the equation first for E4. So when we do our equation for E4, we'll have E4 plus 1 plus 31 degrees equals to 180 degrees, correct? So our E4, now I'll just jump to the final answer. So our E4 equals to, our E4 will be, our E4 will be 149 degrees. 149 degrees. So our E4 value is 149 degrees, correct? So now we have our value for E4, E4 angle and E3 angle, and you can see that we have 49 degrees is our interior. So one interior and one exterior forms a pair, and they are our corresponding angles, and corresponding angles are equal. So which makes our 4, this angle right here, F4 angle, it makes our F4 angle what? Yes, correct. 149 degrees, correct? Yes. So now we have our value for this side. So now the remaining value for the side. Now we must find the values for the side, but it's going to be much easier. Why? Because we have all our values for this side. Okay, so right now let's find the value for this angle right here, this angle, which is angle E1. So our angle E1 is unknown. We don't know the value of our angle E1, but we can see that this angle right here, which is angle F3, it's opposite to angle E1, and that makes them alternate angles. That makes them a pair for alternate angles, and alternate angles are equal. Correct. Alternate angles are equal, so that makes our angle E1, the size of our angle E1, how much? Yes, it must be 31 degrees. Correct. Yes. So that makes our E1 angle 31 degrees. Right. So again, we have another opposite pair on our interior. Can you see that one? Yes, it's angle E4 and angle F2, which is this angle right here. They are opposite, and they are our alternate angles, and our alternate angles are equal. So that makes our F2 angle 149 149 degrees. Okay, so now we are almost done, right? But we can see that this angle is internally, it's our interior angle, and it makes a pair with this angle for corresponding angles, and our corresponding angles are equal. So that means this angle right here will be 149 degrees. Why is it 149 degrees? Because it's pairing with angle F2, which makes them our corresponding angle. Right, and we have another interior right here, which is 31 degrees. And this angle right here, we can form it with this one because it's one interior and one exterior, which forms corresponding angles, right? Okay, so this is our angle F1 angle. Yes, so here on our F1 angle, it will be 31 degrees because corresponding angles are equal. Correct. So now we are done with sketch A. Yay. So let's move on to the last one, the last question. So the last question here, they say fill in the corresponding angles to those given. So let's fill in our corresponding angles. They only gave us the exterior sizes. So the sizes of the exterior only, and we know that our corresponding angles is one interior and one exterior, correct? So here we'll only make two pairs, but you know that corresponding angles on parallel lines cut by transversal forms 8 angles, and corresponding angles pair will be what? 4 pairs, correct, yes. So we have our one exterior and they must be our interior, one exterior and one exterior, yes. So right here we'll have our 60 degrees. Why? Corresponding angles are equal. So this will be our pair. Corresponding angles are equal. So 60 degrees here, 60 degrees here, one exterior, one interior. Right? Yes. So let's do another one right here. So one exterior, one interior. So we'll have our 120 degrees right here. Correct. So here's our second pair. Correct. So let's move on to number 2. Number 2, they say fill in the alternate exterior angles, not interior. Here they were specific exterior angles. And we know alternate angles are what? Yes, they are opposite. So since our alternate angles are opposite, so now we must focus on the opposite angle on the exterior only, not on our interior, right? So here, let's do this. So 120, it's opposite to this exterior here. You can see that one exterior and one exterior. They are opposite. 120 here is opposite to this angle right here, which is our exterior. It's also an angle that is outside, which is our exterior. So we'll have 120 degrees right here. Alternate angles are opposite. Just keep that in your mind. And then we have another exterior right here, which is our 60 degrees, and our 60 degrees must be opposite. to another angle exterior, but on the exterior, not on the interior. Here they were specific. So 60 degrees is opposite to this exterior right here, which is our angle. So this will be 60 degrees. Right, correct. Okay guys, thank you so much for joining me. Um, you'll do this one. Cycle the two pairs of core interior angles. Okay, on each figure. And you know that this one, before I leave, you know that this one is 120 plus the angle right here. They must give you what? Correct. They must give you 180 degrees. And this 60 right here, and when you add it with an angle right here, they must give you 180 degrees on the same side of the transversal, side left and side right. Okay, and you only focus on the interior here on this question, right? Okay, so let's move to our home activity. Guys, here's your home activity. You can send it to my email right here. Just fill in the sizes of the missing angles, the missing sizes of these angles right here. Thank you so much for joining us again. Thank you so much.